Hello everybody and welcome back to another My Porch Prints tutorials. This is Kyra and today we are continuing with our Blue and Ivory series. I've already done the series where I showed you how we made the cover and spine of the journal as well as the signatures that went inside of it. So today we are going to continue to decorate the edges of these signatures and kind of just use up some of the scrap materials we have from putting this journal together. So that's kind of what today's video is going to be about, and this is specifically kind of geared towards people who want to use their journal primarily for writing. I'll do a further video where we do like a more in-depth decorating of this journal, but this is for people who really just kind of want to keep it simple, still keep the journal looking decorative and pretty, but have plenty of room for writing or drawing or things like that. So I'm going to be taking some of my scraps that I have here and just kind of starting off with a single piece that I think looks good on just any page that you want to open to in your journal here. And I'm going to begin gluing the scraps down along the edge of the page to make kind of like a little, I guess like snippet of sorts, just sort of like a scrap border here, just kind of decorating, finding pieces that are long enough to go along the edge. So I'm taking some that are paper and some that are fabric. I've got like this extra piece of string here, and I'm just going to kind of, glue it down and hold it into sort of like a swirly shape, just kind of going with whatever I felt like in the moment here. And don't be afraid to trim pieces down to kind of fit where you want them to be. So I'm going to make like a little border here from some scrap ribbon I have. Most of these scraps are from the current project. A couple are from some projects that we've worked on in the past, or that like my mother and sister were working on the other side of the table. I just kind of reached across and grabbed some of their garbage to use here. And I'm just going to be kind of following the sort of general flow and shape of what I've already got going on. So you can see I kind of cut this ribbon up here. And then I'm going to be taking some extra little pieces I had, some buttons, some flowers, some bows. If you have like little ephemera pieces, you can use those as well, just kind of whatever you want. And you can also embellish your scraps if you want to. So like I'm adding this like large brad that I have, and it's going to just kind of make this piece look a little bit more decorative, like it's got a little button on it. So you can do whatever you want with your scraps. You can get as creative as you'd like. And then I'm just going to glue everything down with Fabri-Tac once I'm happy with the design. And there you go, you got like this cute little scrap junky edge here that's not taking up too much of the space on the page, but it definitely adds a little something to your journal. And you can go on and decorate other pages as well with this same idea. I'm just going to kind of skip along here so we can kind of show you each of the ideas really quick. So for this next one, it's real simple. I'm just going to be taking some of the page tabs that come with our kit, and I'm going to be adding a little bit of Distress ink in the color Vintage Photo, just going along all of those edges to make them look a little more natural and weathered. And then when that's done, I'm going to be decorating these. So taking a micro hole punch, I'm going to punch a hole right in the center. I didn't really measure, I kind of just eyeballed it. You can definitely measure if you want to. And again, I'm taking one of those large brads and I'm just going to pop it right into the back of my little page tab here, flatten down those prongs. And again, it kind of gives you like a little decorative button look on the back of your page tab. So I thought that was kind of cute, and I decided I wanted to do something to the front, so I'm going to add some stick-on pearls here, and then I just kept going, so I added a few more to the back. And this is just going to make, again, our page tabs look a little more decorative. You don't have to do this, you can leave them as is, but sometimes it's a fun little way to add, again, more decoration to your journal without, getting in the way of the space where you would write on a page. So I'm going to take some Fabri-Tac and just glue those down throughout the journal, kind of staggering them top of the page towards the bottom of the page, and that'll give me kind of like a nice little staircase effect with my page tabs throughout the journal here. All right, just like that. And now I'm going to flip through and again find another page that I want to decorate here, one that is blank front and back. And I'm going to mark every ½ inch with a little pencil dot here, just like this, about a 1/4 inch in from the page. And every other one, I'm going to be using these stick-on pearls, and then on the other ones in between the pearls, I'm going to be punching them out with that micro hole punch and using these smaller brads that I have, and I'm just going to punch those in here like this. You can kind of see what I'm doing, just punching it through and then flattening those prongs, trying to get them as flat as possible. All right, you can have, you could use like a hammer or something to flatten these down a little bit more if you want. I'm just gonna leave them as is, and you can see we got kind of this like cute little 3D effect going on the edge of our page, just like that. Cute little pattern. But on the back, you can definitely see those brad prongs. So we're gonna cover those up with another sort of decorative edge. So again, reaching into my scraps here, I've got plenty of scrap ribbon from projects we've done all year long. So I'm going to take that as well as like a decorative piece of paper and just kind of glue some of the scraps that I have to cover those edges. And you can see that the edge is still kind of thick because of those prongs. So if that really bothers you, you definitely want to try to flatten them a little bit more, but I'm not too bothered by it. So I'm going to just kind of keep going here and make sort of like a pretty decorative border. And then I'm going to take some little extra lace scraps I have down in the corner here and just sort of make like a little cluster. Just like this. And then taking one of those bows that I have to finish it up. And again, we have a link to all of our supplies down in the description box if you are interested. So, you know, check that out if you are wondering. All right, a couple of ivory buttons, and this page is done. And again, we've got kind of a little space for still writing on it. So, you know, you can get as decorative as you want, or you can keep it as simple as you want. So like right here, I'm using those bows and I'm just going to glue them along the page so that they are kind of like half on and half off the edge. Again, keeping as much space as possible for writing, but kind of a cute little textured edge here, a little, you know, feminine, delicate, decorative edge here. And I'm going to do the same thing here, but I'm going to kind of change it up just a little bit, again using a scrap from my fabric pile and then gluing those bows down and just kind of keeping them more on the page, so you can kind of get an idea of the difference of keeping them on the page versus half on, half off. And then here you can see is another page where I did that like brad and pearl border. So I'm going to again cover these up with a scrap. So I'm grabbing this sort of music sheet scrap that I had, and I'm going to just tear a portion out of it and go over it with some distress ink and then just glue it down like that. Again, you don't have to get super crazy with decorating. This is enough. So I'm just going to leave that as is. And taking the top half of that music scrap, I'm going to grab that and some fabric and just kind of create like another pretty border with some scraps here, kind of decoratively, adding things just at random. And sorry if I sound a little bit stuffed up today. Spring allergies just came in the night for me, and I am so congested this morning. So hopefully that'll go away as the weather starts to get warmer here, but right now I'm just just terrible. So on the opposing page, I'm going to add just a little bit of ribbon and some pearls just to add a little bit of detail. Maybe it's pointless, but it's fun for me. So, you know, you can use whatever you'd like when you're decorating. And then I'm also going to add some page charms. So if you've never made page charms, you can actually like buy charms, and that would maybe make things a little bit simpler on you, just like some pre-made charms. And then you just hook them onto a paper clip. I tried to do a little bit more decorating, but it was a little bit difficult, especially before I found my pliers. So yeah, if you want to keep things simple, you can always get charms like these little keys we bought online here. I'm just going to add them to a bulb pin and then clip that onto a paper clip. And that definitely was a little more simple. So you can use whatever method you'd like. But the little paper clip charms are really nice. You can take them on and off a page. So again, that leaves space for writing. And they can be little paper clips or big paper clips, you know, whatever you want to use. And again, it's just a little more decoration, a little bit of movement, a little texture, just sort of rounding out our journal here. All right, and speaking of paper clips, we're going to be making some paperclip page toppers. Now, these are not from the Blue and Ivory kit. I listed the kits down below if you are interested in those from where these come from. But I just grabbed some that were small and kind of matched one another here, as well as these two pieces and this like scrap piece I'm going to put on the back of them since I didn't print on the back of these. And then for my paper clips, they're just regular sized paper clips, but you want to make sure that this little dip is pointing downwards. That's really important when you're gluing things on, so keep that in mind. So starting with these two pieces, these are actually matching pieces, which is pretty rare for me to be able to find, but I did find some that match. And I'm gonna go back from the back and the front with some distress ink, and then on the back of one, I'm gonna add a good glob of Fabri-Tac, and I'm gonna glue down my very top of my paper clip, and then sandwich it with the other piece of ephemera and another glob of glue, just like this. And we're gonna pinch the edges together. That's a little bit tougher with smaller pieces. This is probably the smallest I would use for an ephemera piece for this. But you just kind of pinch them together, and then when they dry, you've got like this little page topper that matches back to back like that. And you can do it with pieces that aren't exact matches. That's typically what I end up doing because I pull these from a big, folder that we have all of our little ephemera in. So you can take unmatching pieces, again, go over them with distress ink. That's really going to kind of sell the illusion that they are the same piece. And again, glue them back to back just like this. And you can see that the smaller one is kind of got a border thanks to the larger one, but it doesn't stand out all that much. So if you have pieces that don't exactly match, you can still do this. All right, so next I'm going to take these two pieces here, these little mini ephemera, and I'm going to be kind of figuring out which way I want to orient them. They could go vertically, up and down, or horizontally. Just kind of pick which way you would want them to go. And then I'm going to, again, glue them down to this scrap and let that dry while I glue the other little page topper together just like this. This one I decided to go vertically with while the other ones are horizontal, just to kind of have a little bit of variation. So I'm going to glue these together, and you can also trim your pieces to be close to the same size if you want. It's just kind of up to you. Same thing with this little clock here. Just like that. There we go. And then I'm going to, again, go over my pieces with distress ink. I cut them out, and now they've got kind of a decorative back. And I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to take a brad head and a micro hole punch, and I'm just going to kind of sandwich these together how I want them to look. So since mine are going horizontal, I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to punch a hole right in the bottom center just like this. And then I'm going to take my brad and I'm going to go through the very first one just like this, and then I'm going to go and hook that through my paper clip, and on the back I'm going to add on my second piece. Alright, and that's going to sandwich this little brad in and hold it together. And then you can flatten the prongs just like this, and if you give them a little bend, that'll actually hold it a little more solid. So less bend, you get a little more swivel with the ephemera pieces, and more bend, you get a little less swivel. So if you have a problem with them kind of falling over, try to give that prong a little bit more bend to it. All right, there you go. And now we have a couple of these little ephemera page toppers. They're just kind of a cute addition. Again, they don't take up any page space, and they might even allow you to paper clip on some like notes or things like that. So it's kind of a nice little addition to your journal, and you can just add them wherever you want throughout the journal, just clipping them to the top of the page or even the side of the page. Or if you do have a pocket, you can clip these onto a pocket or an ephemera piece or a tuck spot, wherever you want. All right, and once you have found a little home for all of your little page toppers, you can kind of see what they look like. I put all of mine at the top just to kind of keep things simple, and they kind of like make this cute little cluster of ephemera pieces sticking out of the top of the journal. It's kind of messy and kind of cute. It's very fun. All right, for this last way to decorate your pages, this is something you actually might want to try doing before you put your signatures in the journal. I didn't think of it until afterwards. My mother actually suggested, she was like, have you tried the paper punches? And I was like, oh, that would look great. So I went ahead and grabbed a couple of the ones we have. Again, these are in our Amazon links down below if you are interested. And they just kind of give the edge of the page a little bit of a sort of lacy effect. You just sort of line the punch design up with the edge of the page, and punch out, and it gives like another texture to your page, another sort of level of creation and decoration to your journal. So I would recommend trying it if you haven't. They're fun and they make things look really pretty and decorative. So all right, now you can kind of see what the journal looks like now that we've sort of finished everything with our pages. Once you've got, you know, everything sewn in and the lace added and the little decoration and the page toppers and the paper clips, there's a lot going on with such a simple journal. You can see that it still has like a through theme and design and style to it. It's still fun, it's still decorative, but there's plenty of space for writing. And I know a lot of people have seen my other journal tutorials and they've asked, you know, where am I supposed to write at? Most of my journals I like to fill with ephemera and make them more like art journals, a little bit more decorative and interactive. But if you want a journal that is just writing, you can absolutely still do that and have like a really pretty effect to it. So this is kind of for you people out there who really want to use your journals to journal. So if you were wondering, maybe looking for some new ideas, how do I make a journal still feel decorative and pretty but have plenty of space to write, this is kind of my take on that. So I'm just doing kind of a little flip through for you guys, let you see sort of how it all turned out in the end. And while I do really like the simplicity of this, I am going to take it a step further and do a full decoration tutorial for this journal. So if that is something you are interested in seeing, my next video that is coming out is going to be decorating pockets and then decorating the entire journal, like filling it with ephemera. So if you enjoy that kind of content, make sure that you like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on those video tutorials when they come up. And also a quick reminder that we do the fan favorite freebies. If you haven't heard about that, that is going to be where we choose an idea that you guys have left for us in the comments of our recent videos, and we pick one to make a freebie to give away at the end of every month. So February is already coming out really soon, so make sure that you comment for March, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. All right, bye!